All right, we's recording now. Yeah. So I don't like these episodes. These type. How can I say this? This is an important episode that needs to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the part I don't like about it is I have to dig into like my deep personal thoughts and
Yes,
feelings, and
I agree with that.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
I don't always feel like doing that. And then it's kind of like I'm a private person ish.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I like game and I be on social media, but y'all be giving y'all like tidbits. And I don't like my feelings. I kind of sometimes I feel to the extreme.
Yeah.
I'm much better than I used to be, but I'm not like in the like crazy bad way, but I be in my head a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
I also realize not realize. One thing I've noticed is that, especially in today's climate, like being a vulnerable, open black man, that shit just public perception. That ain't it, right? Not many places are safe spaces. I mean, my podcast will always be a safe space for me and anyone who joins. But yeah, it's just like, feeling all the feels. But one thing that I've done recently, I've started a weekly cleanse. So like either Friday or Saturday, I make sure I meditate and I feel everything I need to feel, think about what I need to think about, and I just release the negative energy so I can move forward with fresh thoughts. And I had a migraine today, and it came out of nowhere. I was fine all day, and I finished a training, a really good training actually. And a migraine hit me. I left work early. I don't like medicine. This is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the few, unless I have a cold or a migraine, is like the only time I take medicine. And I had to take a muscle relaxer because my shoulder is bothering me. I went to sleep on the wrong. I'm all beat up.
Yeah.
Uh, what? But why did you say you really wanted to do this episode before we started?
Because I agree with you 100%. I feel the exact same way. I hate talking about my feelings. I hate
Really?
being, yeah, I really do like exactly how you feel. I hate one, talking about my feelings. Two, being very like open and vulnerable. I feel like I only do that to like my parents, and even then that's to an extent. Um, I used to, my emotions, I do not like my emotions.
Hmm.
I don't. And even as I get older, yeah, I'm able to like dissect through it just a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but still no. And
Still no.
I'll be damned.
and also like the whole trying to be a private person,
Yeah.
I absolutely 100% private. So it's like I hate like sharing and opening up, but I was like I need to do this like episode. Like when you said it, I was already thinking
Yeah.
about it, one, and two, because of like the current, I was already feeling weird about like me and my openness and my vulnerability. Like I want to say maybe, was it that Saturday you sent that text on Sunday or something?
Yeah. It was shortly after Decius's interview.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so it's like when you said that, I had already been thinking about it, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, I already woke up with this like on my mind. He sent me this text. It's like, I know I need to do this episode just to like get it out there. The one time the audience gonna hear a little bit.
The one
So
time we need more. I mean, but yeah. So like, and here's the other thing, and you probably feel this way too. Like, when it comes to like being in a relationship or being with someone, I don't have a problem expressing myself then. Like, I'm
right.
very clear, I'm very open, because if anybody needs to know what I'm thinking and feeling, it's them.
It's them.
Like,
Yeah.
but like the outside world, like those fears, those insecurities, ugh. So,
That, yeah.
oh
I feel
shoot.
you 100% between that and also that stage where you're not dating someone, but you are getting to know them. I hate that stage. I hate it so much because I'm like, am I gonna regret this?
You know what? I'm gonna start the show on that note. How's everyone doing? It's your boy Rob, host of From My Experience podcast. Got the co-hostess with the mostest, as you heard us both talking, me and Ericca here.
Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
man, all of the feels are happening.
You don't give me a head.
I came to a revelation today, though. I I think I came to a great discovery. I need to thank a couple people for being ears for me recently. And yeah, man, it's okay to acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to have feelings, and sometimes you gotta feel what you feel, y'all. But we gonna get into a couple things on this episode. Let me get my mind right. Let this beat drop. Turn down my ring light, yo. My bad. I'm showing Ericca my whole armpit. It's shaved. It's shaven.
Oh, what is he looking at?
Sorry, my ring camera. I forgot. There's nobody here. I just want to make sure I'm just not like a black blob on the screen for you either, though. But there's
that would have been fine.
You want to talk to a black blob? Okay.
I mean, it would have been fine. Heck? I know you there.
Too private. See. Xbox controller over here. Yeah, so this is not gonna be a normal episode, y'all. We don't have headlines or any of that other stuff. We just gonna talk about these fears and insecurities we have when it comes to dating and being in relationships and things like that. So you were talking about before we officially. You want me to start again?
No.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I have a phobia too. Like, not really a phobia, but I listen to other podcasts, and when there's women on there, like, people they like, I hate when they get ready to make a good point and they get cut off by somebody else. Or they're just not given enough opportunity or time to speak or like really jump in there. And I'm just like, sometimes people won't let the conversation flow. And I don't think it's done on purpose. I think sometimes people just get so excited, or they really don't care. But I always I'm always very cognizant of you and your presence. And I really enjoy hearing you express yourself, because we feel the same about a lot of things, and you're very wise for your age. I must say that. I cannot say that I've met too many women, even remembering growing up in college and all that stuff, and even after college, that think like you. So yeah.
Thank you.
But you were saying the talking dating phase.
Oh my gosh, I hate that stage. Hello audience, you guys are gonna hear so much openness from me tonight, probably more than you've ever heard in the past years I've been on the show. But yeah, I hate that talking stage a lot before a relationship, because for me, I'm a person who, one, is very private. Two, I know that I have a lot of emotions and I go through a lot of ups and downs, this and that. I feel things, and if I don't say it, my face will. And just kind of like how you were saying earlier, is that relationships and being open and being vulnerable, I'm 100% okay with, because I should always feel like that with my partner. I should always be able to go to my partner and tell them the things, be able to voice anything that I want to, basically. When it's that talking stage and you don't know the outcome, and that's probably just my fault for overthinking it.
Don't know the outcome. What the heck?
When you don't know the outcome, where it's like, yeah, we're vibing, we're chilling, we're just trying to figure it out. And I'm like, well, I know for me, that's when I can kind of almost self-sabotage in a way, because I'm like, what are we moving towards something, or are we just sitting here? Like, are we just stagnant type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because that kind of, for me, being a very private person and being very, I guess, hard on myself, and also trying to guard myself, but I know that comes across as self-sabotage, is how far or how open am I going to be with you? Because
Oof.
I absolutely do not like showing emotion to people who aren't going to be there. And I know that you can't do that, because
Yes, you can.
life is temporary, people are temporary, things like that, and everything. And when you meet people, they're supposed to serve as a purpose or anything like that. But oh my gosh, I do not like it. And even my therapist will let you know that right now. Love you, girl. But
Mm.
I do not like the unknown and the uncertainty of someone being in my life because I feel like I need to guard and shield myself and my emotions of being open and vulnerable with you because you shouldn't know anything about me if I'm not going to be cemented into the circle, that circle of people that you know. Because, I mean, I'll even be honest, it took me being friends with one of my closest friends for 10 years before I could start talking to her about my emotions. 10
Darn.
years. Like, I'm just now reaching a point where I
You
feel
different.
comfortable to, like, if I gotta, like, say something off the wall and know that she's not gonna call someone and have me escorted out in handcuffs or something like that. I've, we just now reached that point, but that's also because I had to look at myself and be like, I'm over here wanting people to be open and vulnerable with me, yet I'm
Hey,
shutting myself off to the
yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah. You, you know, some situations you got to give in order to receive, but I
Mm-hmm.
would like to receive first, please. Like, for the future Mrs. Wilson out there, can I
Just
receive
that
first?
reassurance.
That, there it is.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
Here, world, here, what did it do? Here, world. That right there, that's the word, reassurance. So many people weaponize that, I think, because, well, I think some people do it on purpose, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
just to continue to get the same level of attention, and oh, they're chasing me, oh, they're into me. And some people do it maliciously,
Yeah.
and they'll start asking more of you, or prove it, or show me, or what does that mean? And like, it's weird, man. I'm with you though, like the talking, getting to know phase, the feeling part
Yeah.
is like what I just described typically is the hardest part for me. I've been an open book pretty much all my life. There are deeper things that I've told people in relationships, but that takes time, and like you said, it definitely takes trust. Like, are you gonna be there or not? But I do probably tell a lot of things that most people wouldn't tell in a dating phase, just because. And I've said this 1,000 times on this podcast. Like, I'm a big proponent of not wasting somebody's time. Like, if we don't want the same thing, if you're not interested, I'm not interested. I'm not your food guy. Go on a date with some of these other dudes. Like, don't try to use me in that way. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I'm good company and I have good conversation. Don't try to use me in that way either. Like, let me know what it is and give me the option to decide how I want to move forward with you versus faking it until you making it, or faking it until I gotta pull your card. Like, yo, all the cards is on the table. Like, and you still holding your hand. Like, I gotta bounce. Like, so many people put you in that situation where you gotta force their hand, and I don't like it. And I don't the only thing that makes sense to me is if the person is genuinely afraid, or they don't know exactly how to express themselves they may be unsure of their feelings at the current time. But I think a lot of people, most people, are lying.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know. I mean, they say, and I've heard women say this. They know within the first few minutes of meeting a guy or seeing a guy what level they want to take it to with them. That could change with conversation, but you have initial thoughts and feelings. I mean, and if you open up enough to give someone your phone number or your contact, or y'all exchanging communication, then that premise is based on something. Could be friendship, could be relationship, could be whatever. It's based on. I'm sorry, I live near an airport. Y'all gonna hear that. I can't do nothing about that. It's gonna be based on something. So it's like, what happened to that interest initially? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yes. I agree with that.
I don't like cliffhangers either, yo.
No.
If I call you or if I text you, I like to hear back from you. Even if you just do which is new now. It's crazy. even if you just acknowledge the message with a thumbs up or whatever.
Ew.
Like it.
No.
Well, I accept that because at least you're letting me know, hey, I got your message. Because like at my job, I can use my phone, but I can't use my phone. So sometimes I like to let people know, hey, I seen it. You know what I'm saying? At least let you see that, because I might not have time to sit and actually really write out a response, or I may not be in a position to. Like sometimes I can. Like today I was in a training class for like 4 hours, so I couldn't do anything on my phone. But if something would have come through, I would have liked to been able to quickly be like, "Bing, yeah, I see it." Well, you don't now. Don't leave me. Don't use that as the reply though. Like you thumbs up in my message is not a reply to me. That says, "Hey, I got you. I'm gonna get to this," or "I read your message. I'm gonna get to this." But like not replying is the worst.
Hello. I cannot stand when someone.
Hello.
I cannot stand when someone does a reaction to a text message that I send, and that's supposed to be the reply.
Nah.
I'm like, so you just must hate me then. I was like, let me stop playing on your phone, whatever. You ain't ever gonna hear a peep from me again.
I'll be damned.
If a reaction is the reply. I absolutely not.
So I've had someone in my life tell me about dopamine, like the pleasure part of the brain, and that's what y'all be fucking up out here when y'all don't be texting back. Like yeah, like, cause in your head it is disastrous. Like,
oh, God.
I am not going to. So any of my ex-girlfriends or anyone I've talked to or flirted with or whatever, if you're listening to this, I'm going to share some experiences, but I'm not talking about one person in particular, because I've been through this with a bunch of people. But it sucks because it's like, if you can't get nothing from nothing, so you leave someone with their own thoughts. Like if you meet someone new and y'all hit it off and the conversation goes well, y'all texting, then all of a sudden you may ask a question or, you know, whatever. Like you send them something that warrants a response, that needs a response, not something like, good morning, how are you, beautiful? Like something serious, and they don't respond. It's like, am I texting you too much? Was that a whack question? Do you think I'm weird? Is it too soon? Like all of the worst, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, but all the worst thoughts come to mind. Oh shit.
I was gonna say I agree with you 100% because I overthink so much, and I know that's like a big insecurity that's like there on the surface. It's like it's not even on the surface. It's like blaring, just shouting at you from off a cliff somewhere, telling you warning, warning. But I absolutely cannot stand feeling not like an indifference, but just the unknown, especially when you are talking
I'll
to
be
someone.
damned.
I don't like that, the whole no response, especially when you know that 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go check your phone at some point. You know, it's not like we're back in the days where we don't have cell phones.
Whoa,
If
whoa, whoa!
someone
Watch
wanted
your
to,
mouth.
they would.
Those are
Hey,
my days.
hey man, I'm
I
just
didn't get
saying.
my first cell phone until college. Watch your mouth.
Ooh, um,
Did you just hit me with the ooh?
ooh.
It was, yo, literally.
I'm like, oof.
It was a Sony Ericsson. You had to buy a camera separately and attach it to the bottom, yo.
Absolutely. I don't know about that one. But I'm just gonna say, like, we live in such a digital age where it's like you I can't stand when someone who says that they express interest in you and getting to know you, and they use this whole, oh, I'm not on my phone all the time, I like to separate myself. Granted, yes, but tell me, is your phone your alarm clock? Okay, then. So you should be able to send a text, not to say that I'm timing you.
Yes, you are.
But
We're timing them. No. We're being vulnerable in this episode.
I'm sorry,
We're timing you. It might be a long time. It might be an hour. It might be 2. It might be 3. But you're timed.
And also, I'm constantly thinking. I'm just like, okay, like I I do a lot of tug and war, like with myself in
Mm.
my head. I know that sounded so creepy, but like it's like a mental battle in my head
Yeah.
because I always want to see it from the other person's perspective. Because I'm
Yes.
like 9 times out of 10, we're not like 100% in this together. We're not. Also, you're your own person. You got your own things going
Yes.
on during the day. I'm not with you 24/7 to account for every single thing that you're doing. And I don't want to do that. You're a person, be free, do what you want to do, be a little bird, fly on. But I need to get some type of sign of life
I'll be damned.
Yes.
for the day, or else I'm gonna get irritated, especially if, and I know this also sounds bad, y'all, but if I see something on social media and I don't hear a
I'll be
ping,
damned.
if my phone does not ping, but I see you on social media, I'm hot.
I'll be
I'm
damned.
hot. Energy and attitude done for the day. Don't even bother texting me no good morning. I've been asleep. Liar. Okay, because I saw you.
It was a scheduled post. It was a scheduled post.
I just you can't be doing all that. Lies.
Yo.
Quickest way to make me so mad.
So here's where you and I separate a little bit. Everything
Yes.
you said, I'd say fuck. Well, really all of it's true. But there's two things. One, energy and capacity is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like everything you just described. I don't like it, but I know that I do it too. I try not to, but like I just texted my friend maybe 4 or 5 days ago, "Hey, I'm gonna catch up with you tomorrow. I'm gonna call you tomorrow." And I ain't did it yet, right? And I'm not even gonna call her after this podcast. So
I mean, we're open and vulnerable.
right. But that happens too. Like even I've dated people, have been talking to people, and I just don't have the energy or the capacity, or I just don't feel like it. That's just me, and it's not personal. And one of the things I've learned to do is to let the person know, like you said, trying to because
Yes.
I understand like what it means to be in your head all day, and it's like, dang, I didn't hear back from you, blah blah blah. So I get that part. Dang, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Chicken scratches. Oh yeah, the social media thing. I've learned to discount that only because you and I might be talking about something specific. And yes, because you go on social media, that means you are talking to people or you're writing, right? And the assumption is, well, if you're on social media, you got my text message. That's the assumption. But there have been days where like I'm at work, not my current job, of course, but I'm at work, and none of my other jobs either. When I was a realtor, when I was working for myself, I would purposely not engage in conversations because they would distract me. Like social media is like, set it, forget it, and it's casual. But like some people really try to engage you, and it's like you want to stay focused because you might be thrown off, you might be doing something important. So, and this is not me giving a person excuses or reasons to do it. And like I said in the beginning, I still don't like it, but I had to put myself in their shoes and say, "Damn, Rob, you do that. You do that. You've done that. You've done this." But I've also gotten better, and sometimes that person isn't at that level with you yet. And sometimes you need to. I mean, this is a vulnerable moment. Sometimes you need to let them know. Like I had to do that recently because I text someone I didn't hear back for a couple days, and it was eating me up because I really wanted to hear back from them. Shout out to my homegirl Jaleesa. Shout out to Troy Spry, licensed life and relationship coach. Shout out to my boy Colin Myers. Those are three people I talked to. I'm like, all right, am I tripping? Like, what y'all think about this? And this is where good, strong friendships, people who know you, come into play. And they gave me some advice, and I took their advice, and it is what it is at this point. I basically reached out and said, hey, am I doing too much? Like, am I being extra? Like, and they were like, no, you're good. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I just don't have the energy or capacity. And that was it for me because I'm the same way. Like, for real. Like, sometimes I don't have the energy and capacity. So I was like, all right, I'll leave it at you don't have the energy and capacity. cool, it is what it is. So my expectations moving forward are now much different than they were before.
Yes.
And that's why it's important to let the person know you can't be a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then all of a sudden you stop. We
Draw.
think you think you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we think you're dead. We think you're talking to somebody else. We think we said something wrong. Like,
Because the times that I will sit there and reread a text message because I'm like, there's no way. Because you were there when I gave you that one situation. I said, am I wrong? Because I read it like this.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yo, that'd be the other thing, man. Like, oh, y'all, let me tell you this. Because I am known for this. If you can send a person voice memos, that clears up so many misinterpretations. It makes communication 1,000 times better. Like, when I'm really into someone or really interested, that's what I do, because text messages, like, you got their voice in your head, you got a tone in your head, like,
Absolutely. And I do.
Yeah.
Don't be using extra periods on me. No ellipses. And I'm like, what's the attitude?
I'll be damned.
That is why I like sending voice memos. Yeah. But I don't ever want to be the extra guy. And see, like, so another vulnerable moment. My timing has always been bad. I wouldn't say bad, but there's not a book or a manual that tells you the right time to do things. Sometimes you feel it. Sometimes it works out in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. And one thing that I've learned is to let people know what I want up front. Mm-hmm. Up front meaning sooner rather than later. There's not really a timeline per se. I don't know, a month or two. Because I've been friend zoned a lot. And a few of them I wish I never was. But it is what it is at this. I mean, we talking 15, 20 years deep at this point. So it's like, it is what it is. Like, those feelings subsided. But part of that, and what I've been told, and I've said this on here before, is like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, you never said anything. Because the way a woman talks to you as a friend versus the way she talks to you as an interest, a love interest, two totally different people. And I would love the best of both worlds. But it never turns out that way. And it's hard for me because people, as y'all know, they naturally open up to me. No matter who it is. Like we said before, most of our guests are people we don't know. 90% of the people who've been on this podcast are people that I only saw your Instagram post. I sent you an Instagram message. You said, okay. You sent me a questionnaire. You came in here and we had a great conversation. And it just flows. But people are just naturally comfortable with me. And I like that, but it scares me too, because I'm like, oh shit, here's the friend zone again. Right? And it's like, I don't want to be there. So I say something about it. And then it's like, well, now it changes the dynamics. I mean, people say, oh, it's not going to change anything. It does. It does. They talk to you different. They speak to you less. And you find out really quickly if they're interested or not, unfortunately.
I'll be damned.
Man.
You've done this. You have male friends?
I do have male friends. And the thing is, the way that I talk to romantic interests and friends, honestly, I think it's funny because there's been a lot of times, because I'm just such a goofball, and even for romantic interests, I'm gonna hit you with a Hulk Hogan brother. I'm gonna start saying brother a lot. I'm gonna start saying dude, bro, even though there's romantic interest behind it. But it's just like things that I say. And a lot of times there's been a lot of friends along the way who have thought that was romantic interest. And I'm like, no, it's not that. Nothing personal. It's just, whatever. But I don't ever try to treat them a different type of way. I feel like I fumble the ball so much when it comes to romantic interest because I then get really awkward about it. And I think the way I talk to my friends and my romantic interest is one and the same. So I feel like it's never clear to romantic interest that it's like, no, I'm interested. I'm not just saying dude for no reason. But here's the thing. We're being open and vulnerable right now. I never try to shoot my shot.
I'll be there. 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 I'll be there.
Kevin Samuels told y'all what to do, and y'all don't listen.
But
So
here's the thing.
to,
I just
it don't. So
I have a valid reason.
go ahead, yo.
My valid reason is usually if I sit there and give them enough time to talk, I realize that it wasn't interest in the first place.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I shouldn't have did that to you just now because that be happening to me sometimes. So yeah, sometimes the initial energy be on that vibe until you get to know them a little better.
Yeah.
That's valid. That's valid. I can't. I gotta take my I'll be damn back. That's very valid. But not even. But as you get older, I don't know how many people you've talked to have been in relationships with, but as you get older, like me, I've kind of learned myself, and I kind of know what I'm actually like attracted to, like personality traits. I listen for very specific things and character traits, right? I look for, or I'm interested in people who have similarities with me. I can't really describe them. But I look for that because what I need, the problem, vulnerable moment. The I think one of the things I need the most, if not the most, is understanding. Like,
Yes.
I am a studier. Like, I love motorcycles. Don't have one, probably won't own one, but I will sit and watch YouTube videos and read reviews and stuff like that. Like, when something interests me, I like to just study it. And it's cool to have. I have a homegirl who's the same way, and she gets it. And like some people think, oh, you about to buy a motorcycle? Oh, you about to do this? And it's like, no, it's just this is just something I'm interested in, if that makes sense. And I have a lot of quirks about me. I'm a gamer. I have a few things about me that typically can be points of contention or just people think it's corny or whatnot. And it's like you're not taking the time to relate in this relationship. You're not taking the time to understand, like, when it comes to stuff you love to do and stuff that makes you feel good, you don't want anybody around you talking shit about it.
Right.
Like, I can't date someone, oh, you got a podcast? Everybody got a podcast. I don't know why you doing that. You're not going to make money off of, you're not, like, you can kick rocks because.
I did not know we were Florida.
What happened?
What's her name? The girl, the wife from Good Times, where every time.
I'm done.
Every time. You don't want to date one of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Can't do it. So that's one thing you'll pick up on. So the interest will align differently when you start to say, oh, these dots are connecting in a different way, especially when it's new and it's refreshing and it's something you hadn't seen in a while. I'm telling on myself right now. Yeah, it feels damn good, and you can mistake it for a lot of things. Go read our latest blog. It's all in there, y'all. fmepodcast.com. It's in there. It's mushy peas. So yeah, but what Kevin Samuels told you, you lovely ladies, all y'all have to do is flirt in the right way or just really be nice. Like it don't take much to shoot your shot. Like you don't have to be all elaborate. I think it's easier for y'all actually.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really done it because I'm just like, whatever. And also I stop myself before I do, and because being open and vulnerable, it's one of my things where I'm just like, girl, no, you don't need that right now. You don't need this. You don't need that. It's just all the self-sabotaging before you can even get to that point or get to that stage.
Huh.
I do that as like a guard and a shield for myself because I'm like, no. That's why I've been single for like two plus years now. Because every time that there's some type of interest somewhere, I'm just like, I can't do it. I was like, I don't care that everything's matching up and everything's lining up. They have the qualities that I'm looking for. I know that it's me at the end of the day where I stop myself from going out like that. you had just said something too, which is what the thoughtfulness and the understanding. Jennifer Lewis said that. There's a clip, it always plays in my head whenever I think about dating or anything, when she said that she was with her ex-husband. I want to say it was her ex-husband or the ex-boyfriend that she had a couple years ago. And she was mentioning something that was so small and insignificant, and he wouldn't even look over. And she said that's when she knew that the relationship wouldn't work out. And I feel like that's kind of how I feel too, just like how you said with the understanding and the thoughtfulness, is if it's something that you are not personally interested in or you do not care to know about, take the 5 minutes to just look, to just hear me out, just give the energy to me, because where else am I going to get it from, especially if you're supposed to be my partner, you know? I will say in the last relationship I had, whenever I was happy about something that I wrote, or I had someone say something about what I wrote, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do you want to see it? No. Cool, bro. Because it's like it shows that you don't necessarily care for the things that make me me. You just care for what they do for you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey world, hero, what did it do? Hey world, hey world, hey world, hey world, hero, hey world, hey world, hero, what did it do? Hey world. You just said a word. You took what I said and you summarized it beautifully just now. Yeah. And the other thing to think about is, my goal is forever. And I know certain things, like two things I'm probably gonna do forever as long as I can. Gaming on some level and podcasting. That's for damn sure. Like, I've been gaming since, don't worry about all that, since the 90s basically. And I don't game as much, and I'm not as deep into it as I used to be. Like, I used to be so into gaming that when I would buy a new game, I would literally get goosebumps. Like, I would have a physical reaction to it. Now, I still love it. I still enjoy it, but it's just on a different level, and I'm more on the casual side. I'm like in between casual and like super serious gamer. And I mean, podcasting, this is, like I tell you all the time, it's like breathing to me. This is beautiful. It can be vulnerable and share my entire life and innermost thoughts with a bunch of strangers. And people who are watching but not supporting. So I need you, future Mrs. Wilson, I need you to understand some things. I need you to accept some things. I need you to know that, gaming in my head, this is me, this is her speaking. This is what I need. Either you're a gamer too, so you get it, which makes it easier, or two, I don't understand that. He does that a lot, but I realize that is his peace. That is his going out. That is his hanging with friends. That is his relax his mind. That is his form of entertainment. And I can respect that. He's in the house. He's safe. He ain't spending a bunch of money. He ain't hurting nobody. And if I need him, he's right there. The end. Like, I ain't asking you to come to Comic-Con. You don't have to. You can dip a toe into my world, but you don't have to live in my world, if that makes sense. Like, but also just make room for my world. We're merging worlds. You know what I'm saying? And I need to know that you have the mindset to accept certain things. So it's tough. I fit into a very weird, probably more common now, but a very weird space, especially at my age. Like, the nerdy black guy, like, what the hell? Like, that was Steve Urkel growing up. For those of you who don't know that is, look up Family Matters. Like, that's what we looked at as a black nerd, but now it's evolved. And people are more open-minded to it. And it's like, we call it nerd culture, but a lot of stuff in the culture is cool. There's a lot of art. There's a lot of creativity. All that stuff. So when you actually find out that it's a big part of pop culture too. So it's not as doofy or childish as people think. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, So, what is, since you don't shoot your shot, you whack. But you know what? I am glad you have the emotional maturity to say to yourself, because a lot of people don't, to say to yourself, I don't need this right now. I'm not going to do this right now. Even if you feel like you might be making an excuse. Sometimes your gut, probably most of the time, your gut is correct. Your initial instinct is probably correct, and you can save yourself a lot of time, effort, energy, pain, so on and so forth, just by listening to that. So I commend you for doing that. I try to do it. I've been doing it too, much like you. I've been single. I can't count. Before December, August of 22. So however long that is. And I've been off dating. I've been off. I ain't really did nothing. And now I think I'm in a space where I want to, but it's gotta be right.
Yeah.
I'm beat up, man. I've been heartbroken. I've been cheated on. I'm older now. That's the other thing that I have to watch. My tolerance is way lower. Way lower. I'll be 40 in December.
I'll be damned.
I have the same sentiments.
Already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that's not good.
Well, it's like the relationships weren't the best, but it's also like once you are out of the relationship and there is like no ties to it, you don't harbor any like feelings or anything like that, and you actually get to like look back and look at the different signs and the different things, and it's like we would not have made it this far into this relationship if I wasn't so lenient and tolerant of a lot of things that I wasn't okay with, but I let it slide. And I let it slide until it was a point where I didn't want to because at that point it was almost a disrespect and disservice to myself.
Yeah.
Because if I don't treat myself that way, why am I allowing someone outside to treat me like that? Especially when you know what you want and how you've been raised and what you've seen and everything like that. And it's just like, it makes no sense. And it's easier said than done.
Yep.
But also, I think that was my other like eye-opening point is if any of my friends told me anything about like their relationships and it was like the exact same thing, I was like, why are you still there? Remove yourself from that.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I've done that.
So it's like you have to start treating yourself and also looking at yourself as a friend and not thinking of you as like just a being as a person. No, I realize that it's easier for me to navigate dating when I view myself as a friend first, because I'm just like, would I allow this to happen to my friend? Especially if you don't have, I don't know, it's like, it's weird, but it's like, it's been the easiest thing for me because my tolerance is very low to a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, I remember you discussed this on the episode too.
Yeah, my tolerance is so low. Like the amount of crazy things and just the dating world, like that's also why like I was single for the past like 2 years, because it was like, I mean, I guess I could entertain this, give it the conversations. Like I cannot do this anymore. It's just, it basically showed me, it's like, yeah, girl, put that phone down. You do not want that. You do not want that.
Damn.
And like I said, like you said, you're definitely open to it, but it has to be right.
Yeah. Someone made me get into my feelings over the last few weeks. And I haven't felt that way. I haven't been that energized or excited in a very long time, years. And I had to really process it. And though that person may not be the person, I feel like that experience, which I'm still experiencing, may just be like the jolt I needed to say, hey, remember what this feels like. Remember what thinking these thoughts are like. Remember what it's like to feel like you're being ignored or not considered. Remember and feel all of these things so that moving forward, when you decide to say something or do something, like you're capable, or this is probably how you have made other people feel, is what it taught me. Because I'm very, I take responsibility for my actions. I apologize when I feel like I've done wrong or someone tells me that they've hurt me. And I try to do better moving forward, which is all you can really do. But to really sit and think and like truly empathize on the level where I'm putting myself in your shoes and then feeling how you felt based off of what I did, that's hard to do. But I feel like that's what's happened to me. I was like, dang, I've made people feel like this. Like when people say like you really hurt me, or I understand you apologize and you're so nice and you're so respectful, but I still felt this way, because I know I can come off as like, okay, well, I didn't really do anything on purpose. I apologize. Why are you still acting stank? Now I think I needed that slap in the face for myself. And it's not malicious or anything. It just is what it is. And I was like, for the past few days, I've really been saying, oh, that's what that feels like. It's been a long time. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. So that's another thing, like you said, people come into our lives for a reason, and sometimes we can figure it out and we can make it into something, and sometimes it's just like, hey, you just need these tidbits and you need these life lessons. All right, that person's gone. But you got to remember to carry those things with you. So that's one thing I'm working on, is getting out of logic makes sense mode and getting back into feeling mode and conversation mode, because that's what you need in dating, because there's no true logic or textbook to things. There's only, really, it's just a bunch of reactions. Like, we're reacting to one another. I'm reacting to what you said, I'm reacting to what you text, and you're doing the same thing, and I'm also reacting to what I feel and expressing myself based on how you feel about me. So it's literally just a series of reactions, and you just don't know what you're gonna get day to day. So it's like, you can't logically think everything through. Sometimes you just gotta sit and just be vulnerable.
Ugh,
I know.
hate it.
Me too.
I hate it so much.
It's a necessary evil. So maybe this is just meant to mentally prepare me. So, question for you. Do you have any fears when it comes to like being, or fears or insecurities when it comes to actually being in the relationship? Like, y'all,
Oh, of course. Of course I do. I'm not even gonna lie to you on that one. Of course I do. I have so many. I feel like it gets. Uh, I used to like not have any, and then once I actually started like being in like these crazy relationships, then yeah, of course. So one of the biggest ones, and I know that you can't prevent it, is just the I guess someone not being as genuine as I am to them. I do not like that, because I feel as if I give 100% in relationships, and I'm 100% honest and 100% genuine with you on everything. But it's just that lack of the other person doing the same, or are they running game? What are they doing? Because if I feel like I'm giving you this and you're kind of like, I'm just getting this, or da 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 da, basically type of thing. That's my biggest fear, because instead of being honest with me from the get-go, you decided to get me open and vulnerable to then turn around and make it a joke. I don't like being the butt of a joke at all, especially in a relationship like that. Um, so that is like my biggest one, is I'm constantly like in the back of my head, I'm just like, if I ever find out that we weren't being 100% genuine to each other, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but someone better make sure that they have bond money for me, because it's
You ain't about that life.
Absolutely. I'll jump across the table. I will. But that is probably one of my biggest ones. And I will say it kind of trickles into like the others, because I mean, I've been cheated on and I was already like checked out of that relationship. So it didn't really phase me too much. But just the dishonesty when I've given you that platform. And that's the other thing, is that it's like I will peel back. I'll give you everything up front, and then I'll peel back when I see how you move. And I just do not like having to do that to people. I don't,
Yeah.
if I'm opening up, and that's a very big step for me to like make and do, and you basically show me that I shouldn't have, oh my gosh, I recoil immediately.
Not
I'm just
record.
like,
I'll be damned.
yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like I recoil. I'm just like, oh, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I don't know how, but I gotta get out of here. And it's just like this wave of shame almost because it's like, what was that for? And I think that's just my biggest thing. And that's also why I struggle so much with being open and vulnerable during a talking stage before a relationship because I'm just like, are you going to just take anything that I do and say and throw it into my face for something? I don't like that either. For me and my openness and my vulnerability to be weaponized against me for anything.
Wow. I actually, I think this might be. So we don't have a happy medium. I'm thinking about the two of us. See, I'm the opposite. I want to get through the bullshit early. So that's why, one, to avoid the friend zone, and two, why I'm open and honest is I want to get through the bullshit. I'm going to see how you treat me because I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to let you into multiple sides of me. Pause. Wait a minute.
I'll be damned.
I'm going to let you see.
It wasn't for you. Gonna question that.
It wasn't. I know. It wasn't for you. It was for the people listening.
No, that was just funny.
I'm going to let you see all sides of me sooner rather than later. I'm not going to give you anything to quote unquote hurt me with, but I need to see how you react to me. The problem with that is some people aren't ready. Some people think it's too fast, too soon, but I do it because like I need to get this out because I need to see how you're going to deal with me. And see what you said, I don't know if I have a patience for women who do what you do. Like I understand being hurt, being betrayed. I've been there, right? But when it's like when getting you to be vulnerable is like trying to sculpt a statue with, a needle instead of a chisel, like I don't have the patience for that. Like there's only so much talking and reassurance and convincing I can do to get you to open up. And it makes conversation a lot harder, like a lot harder from what I've experienced. And it also messes with your head because you don't really know what that type of woman is feeling or how into you they really are because they don't ever say it. They don't ever express it. They don't ever shoot their shot. And they want you to interpret it. Like, not talking about anyone in particular, but there's one person that I figured out the fact that you call, you text me, and we have long conversations is her way of letting me know that she likes me. But it took me like years to figure that out, right? It took a very long time to kind of figure out, oh, this is what you do. Instead of using words or coming out and say it, these are the actions or steps that you take to show someone. But I had to come up with that on my own. And sometimes you have to ask questions to get to those conclusions too. And it's very tough, man. And I don't know if I had the patience for that. And like I said, I'm getting older. I done been through too much stuff. And it's just like, especially the women in the age range that I'm dating, it's like, I need you just to be able to talk to me sometimes. Like, because if you tell me, because I'm not good at reading between the lines. That's the other thing. But if you tell me, then bong, all right, I know how I need to move. I know how I need to do these things. Not in a take advantage of you type of way, but in a I need to be considerate of type of way.
Yeah, and I'll 100% agree with you on it. And also because I know I am real difficult right off the bat because I'm here for the jokes, nothing more. Don't ask me no serious questions, okay? Let's just have fun for a couple of weeks and then we can see where it goes. But also that that's me. That's I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's me. I know that I'm usually the difficult person right off the bat because also I'm just like it's like almost like a push and pull. I want to be open. I want to say these things, but then I'm also like, I don't know how that's gonna be received. And I know that you cannot live like that. I know, and I know you can't live and treat people like that, especially because people are not mind readers, and you'll never get to that point if you don't open your mouth and say something because closed mouths don't get fed.
They don't.
But I do try now to be, I guess, cognizant of the fact that people aren't mind readers, and if you want to see this work out, you got to say something first. You know, you got to put yourself out there every once in a while just to continue it, because if they got to practically pull teeth from you just to get the conversation going, then everything just falls flat. You know, so I get it and I understand. And I think that's also um something that I don't know if a lot of people struggle with that have been cheated on. I won't speak for y'all, but I will say that I do know that about myself. Is now this time around, I definitely am. I'm not as, I guess, gun ho about being so open and upfront as I usually am on a lot of things, because I'm just like, well, we'll see. Like, you really gonna stay around until next week, or are you about to bounce? Like, type of thing. So I'm definitely trying to pull myself out of that, because those people didn't do anything to you. Okay, they're not that person, so they don't deserve to be treated in that type of setting, tone, however you say it. They're
So
innocent.
that yeah, you're correct. Um, the other thing that I don't like or I'm insecure about is looking in the mirror, being honest with myself.
Oof.
Because because one thing I've been talking to my friends about, and it's how can I say this? In a nutshell, if someone's really interested in you, they'll make time, right? They'll call,
Yes.
they'll text you. But the caveat to that is everyone doesn't connect instantly like that. Everyone's not going to feel the same way at the same time. Like, I've had friends, when I first met them, we were cool. We would text every now and again. And then as they got to know me and realized that, oh, this is actually who this guy is, the frequency of everything increased. But it didn't start
Mm-hmm.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Even with the women I've dated, like, it didn't start like that. And it's like, oh, I have to keep that in mind. But I use that now as an indicator, like, oh, they just may not be as interested as I am. Doesn't mean they're not interested at all, because again, back to what I said earlier, I don't always respond to text. I don't always pick up the phone. Sometimes I look right at the shit and won't do it because I don't feel like it. Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much I like you. Sometimes I'm gonna do that. I do that. So I have to remember that part of things exists. It's not always them looking at the phone and saying, ugh, who is that? I'm gonna talk to him. Oh, this nigga calling me again. Oh, like that's what we tell ourselves. But you have to remember, oh, okay, we just not on the same page. Might be in the same book, might be in the same area. We just not on the same frequency yet, and that's okay. That's okay. But what I also learned to do is just adjust. Like, okay, this is not going the way I thought it would go. Where do I need to make the adjustments? Let me change my expectations. That's the other thing. It's like some people, when they're disappointed, they're mad and they dip out. But part of being in a relationship or talking or dating is the ebb and flow and where you fit into things and managing your expectations. Oh, if this person's not as interested in me, I don't expect to hear from you as often. So I'm out of my head less. I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about you less because I'm like, okay, I've already rationalized, or maybe I've expressed myself and you've told me, okay, this is what I should expect from you for now. So I can't be mad because I know what it is. Forget the expectation I set in my head. I know what it is, but people don't ask.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're stuck playing the guessing game, which is another reason why I just express myself and I ask. So I think that there's room for both of those thought processes when it comes to, oh, they really like you, they'll make time. That's true. That is true, but maybe they just don't really like you. But that doesn't mean quit. Like, how much do they really know? How much have you really shared? Another ugly thing that a lot of people may have to deal with. What is there to like about you? Why should this person be super duper interested in you? What the fuck have you done that's so special that you've shown them that makes you stand out from everybody else that they've ever talked to or anybody else that they may talk to in the future? So, you have to bring yourself down a bit. Like, yeah, you're dope. You're cool. You're easy to talk to. You're beautiful. You have these talents and skills. That person, one, may not have realized that, but two, have you shared those things? Have they seen you in these elements? Have y'all had these types of conversations? If not, your expectations are out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
They're way out of whack. So, yeah. Yeah.
Man, you just said
Sorry.
that. No, you just said something like two things. Those 2 points that you made, I completely agree with because that is one of my big insecurities too, is finding out that I like someone way more than they like me. Oh my gosh. It makes me so disgusted with myself because I'm just like, um, and I think I've been told this before by like a couple of people, is that I give people the benefit of the doubt 100% right off the bat.
Same.
And so whenever there's mutual interest expressed, I jump 100% in because I'm just like, okay, yeah, we already know we're gonna have this setup. I see us in the future, like living our lives, and they're probably
Yep.
like, that's not what this is gonna come to. Da 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 da. And so finding out that I like someone way more and I'm interested in someone way more, it makes me upset, but it is a reality check and it slaps me out of delusion. But it is so humbling because it's like, I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long this is gonna last. Do I just enjoy it now while it's here, or am I gonna be upset once it ends? Or why am I already speaking about it ending? I'm already telling myself it's gonna end. Like things like that. And so it sparks all these different things going on in my head, and I hate it so much because I'm just like, should I peel back? And that's automatically when I go to like, all right, put yourself on lockdown because you're not gonna open up, you're not gonna do anything until this person shows interest, type of thing. So that's like a big insecurity. So I definitely really value what you said about that and about how doesn't mean that it's not there.
Yep.
It means that it is. It's just not to that extent. And also because as you get to know people, it can go one way or the other. And that's
Shit,
been
yeah.
a major pill to swallow and just a big insecurity. The second point. Done forgot the second point because of the first point. But I agree with it. What was your second point?
I don't know what I be saying.
Okay.
What was it? I don't remember. Just that
They
fast.
both went hand in hand. So it's like I agreed with
You managing your expectations based on what you've
yes.
actually shared with the person because you know all these things about yourself, but they haven't experienced it yet.
Right. And that's a big thing too, is because I feel once I like you in this little made up version of you I have in my head, because I don't know you
Yep.
completely. I
That
don't know
part.
you enough. So I've made this little figure of you, and then I've put you on a pedestal. And so my expectations of you are higher through the roof than it should be because I don't know you at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm doing is I'm setting myself up to be disappointed and disappointed and disappointed because I think of you as some fairy tale when you're not. You're a human, you make mistakes. I get it. No one's perfect. But if whenever I do that, and so it's one of my major faults, I will say that, and I've been working on that a lot, to meet people where you see them and meet them where they're at. Do not try to make them into this image in your head because they're not that person. You only go off of what they've shown you and how they've treated you.
That's perfect. I ain't got no more mush left, yo.
This, y'all ain't gonna get open and vulnerable for me for a minute, okay?
I don't have any more mush left. Y'all just take whatever you can take from this conversation. And if you don't have friends that you can talk to the way me and Erica are talking right now, find them. Get you a circle. You need a circle. Dating is tough. You have to have patience. You have to have tolerance. But you also have to just basically, to sum this all up, you got to balance things in your head, your crazy thoughts, and the best and easiest way to do that is to reach out to the person who's making you feel this way. You ain't got to tell them everything, but you can just say, hey, just checking that I'm not doing too much of this or if I'm not doing enough of that, because we got to get out of this whole fantasy romantic world. He should know. No, all of y'all are different. All the women I've dated and been in relationships are different. Y'all like different things. Y'all act different ways. Y'all react to things differently. I'm asking you, that's one way you know someone's interested in you. They're asking, hey, what type of treatment works for you? What type of communication works for you? Like, yeah, you can try to befumble and figure it out, but for me, it's so much easier to ask and you tell me, then I can start doing. And then that to me, that's more valuable because it's like, oh, this person listens. This person pays attention. Mm-hmm. So this person's considering my thoughts and feelings. That's what that says to me. So, Erica, you got any other mush for the people?
I told you that's the last y'all gonna get from me for a minute. But I agree with everything. I agree with everything, especially the last parts. I know that sounds so vague, but but I agree with that so much. I do. I can't even say anything. It already has a cherry and sprinkles on top.
Well, thank you. I can't have oh yes, I can have cherries and sprinkles. I just can't have the whipped cream. Getting old. Okay, y'all, and that's what we got for y'all. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. FME_podcast on everything, or just Google From My Experience Podcast, or look in the description of this episode and you'll see the links to everything. Thank y'all for listening. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and talk these things out with friends. You're not crazy. You're not the only one. It just be like that sometimes, y'all. So until next time, take care of yourselves physically, mentally, and financially, and we'll catch y'all next time. Oh, happy Black History Month. This is dropping on February 1st. Sorry, we dropped the ball.
Check that out.
Love y'all. Bye.